Now we here, now we here. Now we here, now we here. Now we here, now we here. Now we here, now we here.
Hello and welcome. I am Lain, a certified life coach, addiction recovery coach, and hypnotist, here to teach you manifestation so you can manifest the life of your dreams. If you are new here, in the drop box below, I have all the links for one-on-one coaching services, hypnosis services, coaching and hypnosis bundles. You can get digital products to where I can make you a hypnosis MP3, meditations, you name it, I've got it. So go check out the link in the bio for my website at soulutionscoaching.org. Okay, guys, let's dive into this topic because a lot of people experience this and feel like they are being tested in their 3D reality when they are manifesting their end goal. But obviously, this is hand in hand with anything that you are manifesting. If it's money, if it's career, if it's manifesting a car, whatever it is. I'm also going to give examples of my own life and when experiencing this. But guys, it does not matter the label of if you're manifesting a specific person or anything else. Again, relate it to whatever you are experiencing. That's the examples for every single one of my videos, okay? So, if you feel like you are being tested in your 3D reality, it's not actually a test. You aren't actually being tested by anyone or by your higher self or by God or by the universe. You're not being tested. All that your reality does is reflect back to you who you are being. So if we decide to embody a new state, think different thoughts, feel different feelings, have different emotions, choose different beliefs, act on different behaviors and reactions towards our reality, if we are starting to embody this new version of us, this new identity, this new conception of self, again, it doesn't matter the label, but once you start to choose a different version of you, then you may notice that your reality starts to reflect back differences. Sometimes it reflects back a favorable story, and sometimes it reflects back an unfavorable story. Seems like the opposite is manifesting now that you are doing the shifts and the changing. Now, if this is what you are experiencing, where one moment it's good, then all of a sudden it reflects back the negative, then I want you to take a step back. Because it's about the point of view that you are coming from when the negative shows up. Are you still looking at it from, oh man, I still got more work to do? Oh man, that means I should probably go get another hypnosis session done, or I should probably listen to another affirmation tape, or I should probably continue to robotic affirm because this is showing up and I got to fix this problem because I'm perceiving this as a problem and I'm not going to get my manifestation, and getting all doubtful, getting all worried about things, getting stressed out. If you are perceiving the opposite manifesting in your reality as a problem that you need to fix, or getting scared or getting fearful that you won't get your manifestation, then that point of view is showing you why you are manifesting it. You haven't truly become new version of self. Because if you were new self, the point of view of experiencing the opposite manifesting, if you truly knew that it was inevitable that you were going to get your manifestation, which when you become this new version of you, you will. You'll just trust so deeply. Even if there's no physical representation of this manifestation happening, it just creates a deep, deep, deep knowing within you. It creates confidence within you, a certain level of trust within you. So when you perceive the opposite showing up, coming from the actual lens of being this new version of you, and you look at it, you'll be like, oh, okay, why did that show up? Like, that's kind of confusing, but somehow, some way, I know that this is leading me to my end goal. I know it's leading me to my manifestation. And you start to look at it through the lens of already having, where you're not judging your 3D. You're not judging what is going on in the external. You're just, okay, let it be there. Either way, I know I'm going to get what I want. The next logical step is for me to get what I want. I already know I'm new self. I already feel different. I'm thinking different. So logically, this doesn't even make sense. I don't have to try to comprehend why this is even happening. I don't have to try to understand it because I know I'm going to get what I want. Again, it's that deep, deep knowing that trust, that regardless of what you are seeing in your 3D, you know you are a new version of self. So the two perceptions are completely different as to who you are coming from. So that's why your reality shows you contrast or tests you to show you who you are actually being, because in that moment there are two pathways that are lit up within your brain. The old version of you, the old thinking patterns, the old belief systems, the old perceptions and perspectives about life and that person, and then the new story, the new thought patterns, the new beliefs. If both are highlighted in your brain, one has to collapse so then the other one can become dominant. So when you experience contrast in your reality, it's allowing you to choose who you are being in that moment. And one thing I've noticed, when I'm actually the new version of self, it won't even be a conscious choice. It would just be natural. Either I'm not fully, I've been tuning into, I'm getting better at it, but I'm not fully that version of me yet, or I am. And this just solidified it even more for me. Okay? So don't look at it as you're being tested. No, it's just showing you contrast of who you're being. And it's an opportunity to choose a new version of you. Okay? So I'm going to give you some examples from my own life. I began to manifest building up my business and really getting my career to launch in a way that I've never seen it launch before. Focusing on money and manifesting a certain level of money status to where I can afford certain things. So I started going on with this narration in my head. Started doing the self-talk, started doing the inner conversations, because that's my favorite way to manifest. I started to visualize my reality as if I already had what I wanted and walk around my world as if I had what I wanted already and speaking it into existence. Even though in the physical 3D world, it wasn't showing me anything that I've changed. But I still decided I'm going to be this new version of self. And because I was doing that, I started to see changes in my reality. They were not favorable. My dishwasher started to break and I had issues with that. So that, of course, cost me money. My hot water tank started to leak. So, of course, that cost me money. My dog got sick out of nowhere. So that was a $1,500 vet bill. And I had to borrow money from my mom. And then owed her that money. So again, that was another expense. When I'm manifesting, having a certain amount of money and a certain level of clientele and so on and so forth, then I'm experiencing all of this quote unquote loss in my reality. I then also, a tornado hit my town, and out of nowhere, never have we ever experienced a freaking tornado in my city. But anyways, it hit closer to my side of town, and I had damage to my canopy. That was completely gone. Just bought it this year. Part of another manifestation, gone. Couldn't save it. So lost that. Damage to my fence. So that was going to cost me money because I have to keep my yard fenced in. I have 2 dogs that are not trained too well. They run this house. But anyways, so they have to be fenced in. So I had to get that fixed. Again, it was just money coming out of my pocket nonstop. Every single day, there was an excuse for me to have to spend, not even that I wanted something and I made that decision to buy it. No, I had to get these things fixed because it was a problem in my reality at that moment to where it was a need. Okay. So this was happening for about 2 weeks, I want to say. We were just back to back, bullshit after bullshit, spending more money that I didn't have, maxing out credit cards, borrowing money from my parents, and so on and so forth, okay? So when that happened, at first, I was not new self. At first, I was stressing, I was worried, I was questioning. I was not new self. I knew that. I was having thoughts like, what the heck? Like, I can't afford this. Like, how am I going to pay this money back? What happens if, something else happens? Then I'd have to borrow more money. I was going into that fear mindset. The mindset that I wasn't getting what I wanted. But then I'd catch myself and be like, okay, wait, hold up. I know how manifestation works. This happens sometimes. I had high levels of resistance to this. I've been doing multiple hypnosis sessions about this. So I'm shifting rapidly. So my 3D is shifting rapidly. And I stopped myself and looked at it and was able to correct myself. Okay? So that's the main thing. I was able to correct myself. and then go into the story of what I did want again. Well, then another thing would happen, and another thing, and another thing, right? And each time I was seeing it, but my perspective about it was beginning to shift. At first, again, I was not new self. I reacted to my 3D. I panicked, I worried, I stressed, especially the stuff that happened with my dog, like that stressed me out, okay? So then as things continued to break and I continued to spend more money, I got to this mindset because I continued to return to new self as these things would happen and just reflect and observe and stop myself from going into the old story and the fear. I was able to then, when things would come up, sit with it automatically and naturally just be like, I don't care. I'm still going to get the money. I don't care. Somehow, some way I'm going to pay all of this back. It's all going to be paid off. It's all going to work out. My dog's going to be healthy. I'll get the canopy fixed. We'll get the fence fixed. It's going to be better than it was before. And I started naturally having the self-talk where the solution was the only thing I was focusing on, not trying to fix the problem or come up with the solution. I naturally just went to the end where it's already fixed. Everything already was working out for me, right? And then that brought me the state of relief, the state of feeling finally secure within my finances, feeling secure within my life no matter what was going on in it. No matter how much chaos there was, I was starting to become new self naturally as I continued to return to the state of having, to return to the self-talk that I am where I want to be financially, okay? So as this continued to unfold and I continued to shift, the chaos became less and less and less and less, and things actually started to wrap itself up. The fence got fixed, and now it's actually better than what it was before because it was my gate that broke, and now I have a double gate, which is something I wanted before. So that worked out better than I thought. The canopy, insurance was able to cover it, and now I'm getting a better canopy than what I had before. It was just one of those pop-up ones because I couldn't afford the hard top ones. Now I'm going to get the hard top one, right? So then with my dog, miraculously, he was healed. He was fine. We took him to 2 different vets. The first vet said, it was one problem, and I didn't agree with that. So then I took him to the second vet. They gave him an antibiotic shot, and he was fine the next day, as if it never even happened, right? So he was back up in health, so I was no longer stressing that as well. And that just worked out, and he's completely fine now, right? The dishwasher was actually an easy fix. I didn't need to buy a new dishwasher. It was just the seal around it. So that was a $20 fix. At first, we didn't know what was wrong. I just knew my dishwasher wasn't working and I wasn't doing dishes by hand. I'm sorry. But anyways, so got that fixed. That was an easy fix. The hot water tank, I actually ended up having, it was the pipes leading to it. I actually ended up having spare parts from when I had to redo my sink and the plumbing to my sink. We had spare piping, so that didn't cost me anything either. And my buddy does all this work, so it didn't cost me anything that way either. So again, everything just unfolded to where I was having this identity that I was going to have to spend all of this money. And then it comes out to where we were able to return these things because we bought things thinking it was a certain thing, da-da-da-da. And we were able to return everything because it was actually an easier fix than what we thought it would be, okay? So that's how it works, right? The perception at first was coming from fear. So again, I was going to have to spend all this money. We went out, we bought the materials, we went and did all of these things because the first diagnosis of these things was, I don't think we're going to be able to fix it. I'll look at it. My friend looked at it, really good at what he does, looked at it. He's like, yeah, I think it's this problem. But then because I continued to change my point of view about it, he looked at it again and was like, I don't get why I didn't see this before. It's an easy fix. It's just this, right? Because I was in a different reality. I was experiencing a different solution to the problem. There wasn't a problem in the reality where I was getting what I wanted, right? So I was able to save the money and things ended up working out for me, right? And then clients started coming in more and more and more and more. Then my YouTube started growing more and more and more and more. TikTok started growing more and more and more and more, right? Things started to work out to where I was making more money than I was spending it. So if I can do it, you can do it too. It's just about sitting and observing where you are at when you are experiencing something that quote unquote is opposite to your manifestation. And then naturally, you will begin to perceive it differently as you continue to return to the state of having. It might take you a couple tries. I know it did me. But then once I was able to just look at it and be like, I don't care. I genuinely do not care about this because it's all going to work itself out. That's how I knew in that minute I was new self. In those new beliefs that I was doing reprogramming during hypnosis sessions for myself, and the coaching that I was doing with myself and walking myself through it and changing my thoughts and so on and so forth. I knew it had all worked and solidified because I was coming from the point of view of new self. So again, if you do want to reprogram your subconscious mind, then you can use hypnosis. That's what I did. You don't have to, but that's how I went about shifting and changing different things. You can also sign up for one-on-one coaching services if that is something that you are interested in. But guys, everything that I coach you on or teach you about is in these videos. You don't have to work with me if you don't want to, but it is available if that's something that you are looking for. If you could do me the favor of hitting that subscribe button along with the bell icon, that way you're notified every time that I post a new video. And of course, the thumbs up button if this video resonated with you, you learned something, so then that way it can get pushed out to others so then they can learn this stuff as well. Thank you for being here, guys. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you. And remember, your reality isn't testing you. The universe isn't testing you. It's just an opportunity to become new self. As always, guys, you got this.